I, Harun Sadia, welcomes you to my YouTube channel AS Classes. I hope all of you are doing well. If you like my videos and content, then please do like, share and subscribe my channel. And those who are new to my channel, please subscribe it. So students, in today's class, we are going to start with class 7, chapter 1, Geography, named as Environment. When we talk about environment, it is a French word derived from environner, which means neighborhood. Environment literally means neighborhood. When we talk about environment, it refers to any place, people, thing, nature that surrounds any living organism is called as environment. Anything that is place, people, thing that surrounds the living organism is termed as environment. It is a combination of natural and human-made phenomena. Environment is a combination of natural and human-made phenomena. The natural and human-made phenomena means natural, that is air, water, land, whereas human-made phenomena such as religion, economy, everything, all these things are physical environment. All these things comes under the human-made phenomena. It provides, so when we have to understand what is environment means in a simplest form, it refers to the air we breathe, the water we drink and the food we eat and the land where we all live is all termed as environment. Environment is a surrounding. Environment is a surrounding, that is neighborhood. Environment is a combination of natural and a human phenomena, and we talk about natural phenomena. It refers to air, water, land. So environment is the air we breathe, the land on which we live and the water we drink. It is a combination. So after understanding what does environment means, we are going to start with types of environment, components of environment. In this chapter, we are going to study about what is environment. Environment is provided to us naturally as well as human-made environment. But we human also used to modify these environment based on our personal needs. For example, if we are cutting down the trees and using that land for the construction of more houses, buildings, industries to fulfill our basic needs, so this is how we are modifying the environment. If we are conserving water, if we are using them for some other purposes rather than drinking, like for generating electricity, we are modifying the environment. We human used to modify environment to fulfill our needs. Now, components of environment. Components of environment are of 3 types: natural environment, human-made environment and human. When we talk about natural environment, environment is the air we breathe, the water we drink and the land on which we live. So when we talk about land, it is known as lithosphere. When we talk about water, it refers to as hydrosphere. And when we talk about atmosphere, it is the air, that is atmosphere. And this living thing is known as biosphere. When all these 3 things, land, water, air, met at one point, it become a condition suitable for living, that is known as biosphere. This is our natural environment which is given to us by God. When we talk about human-made environment is an environment which humans were making for their own uses. So buildings we make, parks, bridges, monuments, industries, all these things are made by human for making their life more easier. As by industry, we are getting more employment, we are getting more advanced things, so we are modifying the environment. We are cutting down the trees and making more industries to fulfill our more needs. Okay, the environment, the God has given us these three to fulfill our basic needs, and we are modifying them to fulfill our more needs. Now, when we talk about human-made, it consists of industries, monuments, bridges, parks, and buildings. And when we talk about human is an individual. Human is an individual. Human forms family. Human belongs to a religion. Then human attains education, and human also faces political situations. So the components of environment are of three types, that are natural environment, human-made environment, and also a human. I hope it is clear that what is environment. Environment is a combination of natural and human-made phenomena, and components of environment are natural environment, human-made environment, and human. Now we are going to study these components in detail. When we talk about natural environment, we know that it consists of land, water, air, plants, and animals. All these things collectively form our natural environment, that is land, air, water, and animals comprises our natural environment. Now I told you natural environment, land, air, water. Land is lithosphere. Now domains of environment. When we talk about what is lithosphere, so it is a domain that provides us forest. Lithosphere is land. On land only forest exists, so it is a domain that provides us forest, grasslands for grazing, land for agriculture, and human settlement. It provides us the place where human settlement developed. Now, what is lithosphere? It is a solid crust. What is it? It is a solid crust and a hard top layer of the earth. Lithosphere is made up of rocks and minerals and covered by a thin layer of soil. It is made up of rock and minerals and covered by a thin layer of soil. It is an irregular surface with various landforms such as mountains, plateaus, plains, and valleys. Lithosphere consists of mountains, plains, plateaus, and valleys, and it is a solid crust. That's all about lithosphere. When lithosphere is written, one thing that should be arised in your mind is lithosphere. Lithos means land. This is the first domain of our environment, that is lithosphere. After this, we are going to study about hydrosphere, then atmosphere, and after that biosphere. Second domain of environment is hydrosphere. Hydrosphere means water. It comprises various sources of waters and different types of water bodies. Different sources of water and water bodies such as river, lakes, seas, oceans, etc. Water is very essential for our living. Without water, we living organism can't survive. Now, third domain of environment is atmosphere. It is a thin layer of air that surrounds the earth. When we talk about lithosphere, it is a solid crust. Okay? Then hydrosphere, it comprises of water. When we talk about atmosphere, it is the thin layer of air that surrounds the earth. The gravitational force of the earth, gravitational force, anything that you throw upside comes downwards. So the gravitational force of the earth holds the atmosphere around it. Due to the gravitational force, the atmosphere is present around it, and it protects us from the harmful rays and scorching heat of the sun. Due to this atmosphere only, we get protected from the scorching heat of the sun. It consists of a number of gases, dust, and water vapors. When we talk about hydrosphere, it consists of water bodies such as river, lakes, seas, and oceans. And when we talk about atmosphere, it consists of a number of gases, dust, and water vapors. The changes in the atmosphere produces changes in the weather and climate. Definitely, we say that change in the atmosphere results in the change in weather. When the changes are happening in atmosphere, like the ozone hole is increasing day by day, so heat is increasing on earth. So that is the reason how these changes in the atmosphere produces changes in the weather and the climate. Now we are going to study our last domain of environment. Domain of environment, that is biosphere. When we talk about biosphere, plant and animal kingdom together makes biosphere or the living world. When plant and animal kingdom combines together, they forms the biosphere or the place which is suitable for living. It is a narrow zone of earth where land, water and air interact with each other to support life. As you can see in this diagram, when air, that is atmosphere, lithosphere, that is land, and the hydrosphere, that is water, they all three combines together and form a place here with this which is suitable for survival is known as a biosphere. We have studied about 4 domains of environment, which are lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and 4th is biosphere. And biosphere is the only domain where life exists. Biosphere consists of 2 types of components, that are biotic and abiotic. Abiotic components are the components that are living organism, consists of living organism, and abiotic consists of non-living organism. Biotic consists of living organism. Plants, human, animal, land, table and chair, all these consist of abiotic components. When we are talking about environment, so when was the World Environment Day celebrated? The World Environment Day was celebrated on 5 June. You should remember this. The World Environment Day is celebrated on 5th of June. There is one term given in your NCERT named as barter system. What is a barter system? When trade is done in which goods are exchanged without the use of money. When people are trading with each other and they are trading without exchange of money. For example, if you are trading with someone and you exchange goods like gift with one another and do not use money, this type of system is known as a barter system. Now we are going to start with what is ecosystem. It is a system formed by the interaction of all living organisms with each other and with the physical and chemical factors of the environment in which they are live, all linked by the transfer of energy and material. What is an ecosystem? It is the interaction of all the living organisms with each other. When the living organisms are interacting with each other and also their interaction with the physical and chemical factors. All plants, animals and human beings depends on their immediate sources. Often they are interdependent on each other. Each and every individual is dependent and interdependent on each other. This relation between the living organism as well as the relationship between the organism and their surroundings forms ecosystem. The dependency of one on the another is regarded as the ecosystem. As you can see here, all the plants, animals and human beings depends on their immediate source. Often they are interdependent on each other. So this relation between the living organisms as well as the relationship between the organism and their surroundings, they collectively formed ecosystem. Now we are done with our natural environment. Remember, 5th June is celebrated as World Environment Day. After natural environment, human environment. Human environment is the environment that is created by humans. Human beings interact with the environment and modify it according to their needs. As I told you, humans used to modify the environment according to their needs. If we talk about the people who were living in ancient time, they have accepted the environment in a natural form. They are being satisfied in the very little resources available to them. Like, they are not modifying them for their basic needs. But with the passage of time, the people started gaining knowledge, and with the gain of knowledge, they started modifying environment to fulfill their basic needs. For example, people started using land for more agricultural purposes. They started domestication of crops, and for that they use land. So they are modifying it according to their own needs. Then they require land for construction of their houses, so they are cutting down the trees so that they can make their houses. Then all these things started. Then barter system came in the picture. After that, people started industrialization, in which they modified the environment the most. And after that, industrialization, information technology, all these things has been evolved, due to which environment has been modified by the human to fulfill their basic needs. And till date also, human used to modify environment for their needs. That's all for our topic named as environment. In this, we have discussed about what is environment, components of environment, that is natural environment and human-made environment. Then in the natural environment, we have studied about three, that is lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. And when we talk about human-made environment, we have talked about how human had started modifying environment to fulfill their needs. And the human-made environment could be building, industries, monuments, parks, all these things human has created for their comfort. Okay, this is all. Now we are going to start with this exercise. What is an ecosystem? When we talk about ecosystem, the system formed by the interaction of living organisms with each other and also with the physical and the chemical components in which they live. By the transfer of energy and material, it is called as ecosystem. When we talk about ecosystem, it basically means the interaction of all the living organisms with each other. All the living organisms, when they interact with each other, they are interdependent on each other. So, and with the physical and the chemical factors of the environment in which they live, all linked by the transfer of energy and material, and it is called as ecosystem. When we talk about the second question, what do you mean by natural environment? When we talk about the natural environment, we have studied that all the things that are present naturally and provided to us by God, all these things come under natural environment. That means land, air, water and living things, that is biosphere. So when we talk about land, that consists of lithosphere, then hydrosphere, then atmosphere and biosphere. All these four components come under natural environment. Question number third, what are the major components of the environment? What are the major components of the environment? We have talked that there are three major components of the environment. First is natural environment, human made environment and human components. When we talk about natural environment, I have already told you all the things that are presented to us naturally by the God in terms of land, air, water and living things, that is biosphere. All these things collectively form our natural environment. When we talk about human made environment, all the things that are created by humans by modifying these natural environment comes under human made environment. And human made environment includes like industries, parks, all these things comes under human made environment. And human component, when we talk about human component, it consists of human population, religion, education, economic background, all these things comprises our human components. So it is very clear there are three major components of the environment, which are, first is natural environment, second is human made environment and third is human components. Now when we talk about the fourth question, that is give 4 examples of human made environment. When we have to give 4 examples, human made environment, the environment that is created and being modified by the humans for their for fulfilling their basic needs. The examples are buildings, parks, industries and bridges. All these things are created and being modified by humans for making their living more easier. Fifth, what is lithosphere? I told you when we talk about lithosphere, that means it deals with land. So the solid crust or the hard top layer of the earth is called the lithosphere. It is made up of rock and minerals and is covered by a thin layer of soil. It provides us the land on which we live. It is irregular surface with various landforms like mountains, plains, plateaus, etc. Deserts, all these things comes under lithosphere. When we talk about the sixth question, what are the two major components of biotic environment? We have talked that the biosphere consists of two types of components, that are biotic components and abiotic components. When we talk about biotic components, it deals with plants and animals. All the things, components that are living in nature comes under biotic components, and the non-living things come under abiotic components, such as table, chair, fan. All these things comes under abiotic components, and plants and animals comes under biotic components. Question number 7. What is biosphere? I told you with this diagram, when land, air and water interact with each other and they met at a particular point and found a place which is suitable for living, it is known as biosphere. Biosphere, or the living world, is the narrow zone of the earth where land, water and air, land is lithosphere, water is hydrosphere and air is atmosphere, all three of them interact with each other to support life. When this land, air and water, that is lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere, interact with each other and they form a spot here which is suitable for life, and this spot is regarded as biosphere. The plant and animal kingdom together forms the biosphere. Life exists in the living organisms, so definitely life exists in plants and animals, so both of them collectively forms our biosphere. Take the correct answer. First, which is not a natural ecosystem? We have talked about what things comes under natural ecosystem, that are land, water, air and biosphere. And when we see desert, aquarium, forest, it is obviously aquarium. Aquarium we used to keep artificially at our homes, in which we used to domesticate fishes. Now, what is not a component of human environment? Definitely land, it is a component of natural environment, and religion and community are the components of human environment. Third, which is the human made environment? Mountain and sea. Mountain, it comes under lithosphere, and sea, it comes under hydrosphere. So they are the part of natural environment, and road is a part of human made environment which were created and being modified by the human according to their needs. Which is a threat to environment? Growing plants. Can growing plants be a threat to environment? No, growing plants could only be beneficial to our environment. It gives us more oxygen. But growing population is a threat, because when the population keeps on increasing, the need of land, food, water, everything increases, and for that purpose human keeps on modifying the environment, which becomes threat to our environment. Now, match the columns. I have already written the correct answers in front of them. When we talk about biosphere, a narrow zone where the land, water and air interact and where the life exists. When we talk about biosphere, just remember this diagram. When these three interact and here life exists, this is known as biosphere. When we talk about atmosphere, a blanket of air that surrounds the earth. It is a blanket that surrounds the earth and protects the humans from the scorching heat of the sun. Hydrosphere, domain of water. Environment, our surrounding. Fourth, give reasons. Man modifies his environment. I have told you earlier also, the environment that is provided to us naturally by the God consists of land, water, air, and the ancient human used to live in that limited environment only. But man, with increase in knowledge and technology, start modifying this environment to fulfill their basic needs. Like they started constructing parks, they started constructing industries. They started barter system in which they used to exchange the gifts without the use of money. So all these things man started to fulfill their basic needs, and when they start gaining knowledge. So man modifies his environment to fulfill their basic needs, as it is the basic life support system. As environment is the basic life support system, he builds house to live and in industries to work, in which modifies the environment. When we talk about house to live and industries to work. So for the construction of houses and industries, they start cutting down the trees so that more land would be available to them for constructing their own houses. So due to the rise in the needs of human, the deforestation increased. Many trees were cut down in the greed of human. Humans have used the fossils for their own development and disturbing the ecological system and animal habitat. As everything, the plants, the animals, the humans, all of them are dependent and interdependent on each other. And when humans start disturbing that environment, this disturbs the entire ecosystem. So that's all for our chapter named as environment. In this chapter, we have studied what is environment, its components, its types, domains, everything we have discussed. I hope it is clear that what is environment. And the 5th June is celebrated as the World Environment Day. If you like my video and content, then please do like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.